hello. Does now hear me well? I hope you guys hear me well. If not, this is gonna be a problem. I believe so. Fingers crossed you guys can hear me well. Fingers crossed the music in the background is probably not as bombastic. Which, by the way, nobody mentioned this to me yesterday when was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yesterday when we did the reaction to the presentation, not the Nintendo, the regular presentation for Pokemon Presents. Nobody mentioned that the audio was being overlapped by the sound of this thing, which was my AC. And I thought to myself, okay, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I in the morning, it's hot as hell outside. Right now, thankfully, it's nighttime, so I don't really need this thing on. But when I needed it last night, dude, that thing was, when I needed it in the morning, that thing was loud as hell. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That thing had me in full fear mode, bro. Oh, man. Hopefully you guys can hear me on both ends. Right here. Currently, I am doing my best to accommodate for a lot of people. Hi ho there. Hi Prof. Hi there, Mess. Hi there, Goggles. So I do want to mention something real quick before we fully continue in our session throughout this night tonight. I want to mention that just like the other day, hey, I'm here, and I'm also somewhere else as well. That it depends on where you're personally watching. Are you watching it here? Or are you watching it in the other platform? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk a little bit about what's going on with that, and get people up to speed of what's happening here. Ash is probably kicking himself in the... That depends. Bro, who knows? I see it. There's so many things to talk about this week. I'll tell you that right now. There's just so many things to get ourselves into discussion just from this session alone. Let me go ahead and turn this off real quick, the music in the background. I don't know how loud or how quiet it was, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But to quickly go ahead, first of all, how y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing fan-freaking-tastic. Look at that. We got a Pika right there in the chat. How you doing there, buddy? So I want to mention real quick before we fully begin tonight's session, first of all, my name is KG Prestige. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's stream. Obviously, we got quite a lot to discuss, and it's been a very, very active week, and it's still going to be a pretty active week. We got, what was it, the Pokemon Presents that happened not too long ago. We have one of the biggest movies coming out next, or later this week, with that being of the Fantastic Four. Reviews are already popping out, so we're hearing a lot of things about going that on. Obviously, the future of where Marvel's planning to go for that thing. We hear, what was it? The future for Nintendo Directs as well. Supposedly, there was a Nintendo Direct that was going to happen this week. Didn't happen. What went down with that? I don't know. But I think it'd be fun to go and talk a little bit about that and, share my things. And also, most importantly, I want to talk a little bit about this thingy right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Nintendo Switch 2 that I've been playing these past couple of weeks. In fact, it's already been past a month. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to go and talk a little bit about this thing and share my input on the matter and what I think of it overall now that some time has passed since I've played this console when it launched last month to where we're at right now. We're already entering August really soon, so there is quite a lot of things. So here's the thing, this might be a stretch, but I think Fantastic Four will be firing fantastic. I'm gonna sue you for that one, buddy. That's a horrible pun you made right there, back to back. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a fun discussion for tonight. I haven't had one of these in a minute, where I got to sit down and just chat with y'all, almost like a podcast session of its own right. And just chat with y'all in the community. We got, like I said, a lot of things to get into. There's also the VTuber drama. I know a lot of people might not be too familiar with what's going on with the VTuber thing, but when I tell you that it is one of the most insane string of events that you'll ever see in entertainment for the streaming world, I'm not kidding on that front. It is freaking insane what had went down in the background. And the chaos that unfolded throughout the entirety of the week is such a cataclysmic event, bro, for VTuber fans and just the VTuber community in general. So fine, yeah, no, it goes deep. Like I thought it was just for one individual, and then another individual came out and discussed about it, and then another individual came out and discussed about it, and then people who were ex-employees or people who were familiar with that sort of thing behind the scenes came out and talked about some of the insanity that transpired. Yeah, there's quite a lot to get into. So let's go ahead and do our best to cover as much as we possibly can in today's session. So I hope you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy. Get yourself some refreshments. We're going to be here for a good while. So it does feel great to finally come back and do these kind of sessions again. But let's go ahead and make the first big thing, I guess I should say. So, as you might have noticed here on this platform, I have two chat boxes going, one up here and one down here. Reason that is the case is because I am technically streaming on two separate platforms currently right now. I am currently streaming here for those who stick with YouTube here in the YouTube scene on my other channel, of course, that being of KG Prestige. But I'm also streaming on this platform as well with Twitch. So I've been following trends. I've been following what the algorithm and people have been talking about lately in regards to like what is the future, where are things going, what's currently happening right now, and kind of get into more of a mindset as to why things are currently happening in the way they are. And it turns out that this, I guess you could call this the new meta. And it's kind of insane to think about it. In fact, one of my buddies of mine that I've been watching has sort of been doing that for the past couple of weeks, and I think even it's already been months at this point. And so she's been doing that, and I've thought to myself, hey, listen, I've been seeing others do it as well. I've seen some of the biggest streamers out there in the world also do all streaming. Hell, even some on other platforms like, I think, what was it, Instagram, Twitter itself, etc. Like it is absolutely insane how much the streaming scene has evolved over the years. And you know me, I've been away from streaming for like about a year and some change. I've occasionally streamed throughout this year, but like for the majority of 2024 going into 2025, I've been away, taking my time, relaxing, etc., doing my own things, having my own misadventures, traveling out there before coming back here to go and, get myself readjusted and reacquainted in the world of live streaming. And to think that in such a short amount of time between then to where we're currently at right now, so much has changed. The scenery has changed. The algorithms has changed. Like, hell, I gotta actually make this a little bit bigger. But thank you so much for the follow there. I appreciate it. There, let me see. It's I love the name though. I think that's my favorite thing about it. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, that's what it is. Like I always appreciate seeing how things sort of evolve and become very different over time. And that's why I wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun on that as well. So you will be occasionally seeing me stream multiple times, not just on one platform, but on another as well, just to accommodate to see where things go with that. I do really want to try to get myself back into the swing of things and kind of understand more of like what's making these platforms so popular to not just stream on one thing, but to stream on another and even maybe like a third one. There's even like there's even a layout where you could stream in a separate format that's different from your other things. So like you could have a layout that's like a shorts design, but you could still stream it on there while still keeping the same 16:9 ratio. Like streaming is such a fascinating thing to me. I really, really enjoy seeing what it is and how people do these sort of things. So it is such a fun time. No, I'm just talking to the community right here, talking to y'all, of course. So it is such a fascinating thing to me personally to see what's become of the YouTube scene, what's become of the Twitch scene, the Instagram scene, what's become of TikTok as well, also being the thing, Twitter. Twitter streaming is still something fascinating to me because I never really seen people do that before, man. It's such a it's such an insane experience. So yeah, no, like I am very grateful to uh to kind of come back into this in a new perspective, new format, and I hope that I can entertain as many people as possible throughout the many years to come. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun time for
It
sure
is
with this, and
possible.
I hope that things will continue to evolve in that format as well as I continue to, like I said, reacquaint myself back into the to the scene of streaming. Um, and so yeah, no, that's pretty much what I want to discuss about first and foremost. Just to talk about like if you guys might be a little confused as to why I'm streaming here and why am I streaming there, and why things are a little bit different this time around than normally people would be accustomed to. It is mainly because of that. So yeah, you know, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel like it's gonna be an interesting experiment to see how things play out. Will there be a different audience on respective platforms? Do people prefer this platformer over that platform? These kind of questions I always love to kind of learn and what's the proper term? I guess just to adapt with that. So yeah. But anyway, let us now move on from that. I hope you guys been enjoying what things have been looking like right now, and I hope that I get to do more of this in the years to come. So, all right, let's get into our next discussion, and let's go ahead and talk about the latest event that had currently transpired earlier this week. That being of the Pokemon Presents itself. Pokemon Presents had just finished not too long ago, and we find ourselves now in some time where we have more information about Pokemon Legends EA. Might want to change that music. Nah, don't worry, we're good. Actually, what is the music playing in the background currently? Oh God, I just realized it. Oh man. But what was I gonna say? So it wasn't an event. I'm not gonna say it was the most exciting event or it was the most glorious event or it was one of the worst events of all time. You know what I mean? It was just a typical run of the mill average presentation. Like everybody who jumped into this presentation knew what they were getting into. It was just going to be a typical run of the mill presentation where like the first 15 minutes or so is going to be spent on the mobile games, the side games, any new mobile announcements, etc., like that sort of stuff. That's going to be saved for that. And I, obviously, I thought to myself, hey, I don't think there's going to really be anything new. And then they did surprise me. So there was a new reveal for a Pokemon game. It was called Pokemon Friends. And this one looked kind of charming. It was essentially just a bunch of like little puzzle games that you will be able to play, and the more you do, the more rewards you will obtain, whether it be like these cute little string of plushies. You can get multiple of them, and they have a wide variety of them, like I think about like 100 or 200 of them, kind of various Pokemon. I saw that my son was in that, which is of course the Hisui and the regular Zoruas. As you guys know, I am a big fan of these little cutie patooties. So obviously, as a fan of these, I had to go ahead and get myself the said game and play it for myself and see if it was really any good or not. And to be quite honest, it was okay. It was okay. Like, there's nothing really mind blowing about the game. It is a run of the mill Pokemon. It is once again made for kids, so they're not gonna go out of their way to make like the most complex puzzles of all time, mind you. But for what it is, I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was great. Just to sort of see what they're trying to go with, and give an opportunity for people to play. What isn't, though, that I would consider good is that price point, ladies and gentlemen. That price point is kind of insane. I don't think there is any way to justify what is essentially $40, 40 plus dollars, I think, for a puzzle game that was built for the mobile scene, but you can get the entirety of it if you buy it on the Nintendo Switch. Now, I think the reason as to this is being the case is mainly because of the fact that on the mobile scene, I think you're only playing it like 3 times a day, and then that's it. On the Nintendo Switch version, on the other hand, you buy it and you get everything. So you could play the entirety of the game from start to finish without any interruptions whatsoever because you paid for the full pack. Now, if you want to play the additional puzzles that like are part of the collection, so like the bundle 1 and bundle 2, you're gonna have to pay an additional, I think, $15 per the pack to even obtain an additional set of puzzles with their own difficulties and etc., as well as additional plushies of other Pokemon that are not in the basic pack as well. Adding all of that together, I think the collected bundle, I think, rounds to like 35 to 40 bucks around there, depending on where you live. And that to me, is freaking insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. That $40-something price tag is what is so bonkers in my eyes. Why is it so expensive? It's a child's puzzle game. There's no reason in this world that you should be spending close to $40 to get your hands on this. It does not feel right. With that said, I'm an idiot. I did play it. It's fun. I'm just not going to recommend it for those who are trying to kind of question if they would be willing to spend the extra money or not, because it's, well, schemy. You know what I mean? For someone like me in my position where I'm capable of like enjoying these sort of things because, you know, I can have that freedom to do it. I'm thankfully financially able to put myself in a position where I could buy these games without it hurting me. But like for those who might not and are instead maybe like thinking of, hey, well, should I get this or should I buy this? I'd be like, no, don't even spend $40 on that thing. In fact, save those $40 and maybe save an additional $30 on that and get your hands on probably one of the greatest games of 2025, that being of this bad boy right here. Don't go ahead and buy this puzzle game. Play it on the phone. It's free on the phone. Enjoy it on the phone. You're only going to be able to play 3 times a day, but let's be honest, are you going to be playing it more than that? Or maybe you might be, actually. You know, you might be like a really big puzzle fan, so you might potentially do, but like, compare that puzzle game to like one of the best platformers currently so far for this year, this one, and even like other titles like Expedition 33. I know my friend Terrell, aka the Insane Game Freak, has been playing that one, and he just recently finished it not too long ago. Great looking game, and great game play wise as well. But like, yeah, there's no way for me to justify that $30 to $40 game. Pokemon Friends is enjoyable. Use it or play it during the bathroom break or something like on your mobile device, but I don't think you really need to go ahead and pay for the full thing. I don't know if I'll stream a full session on that if people are curious to see me just play those type of games. I don't mind, but like as of right now anyway, you know, definitely not. Maybe there'll be a point when we'll get a price cut and then you could go ahead and buy it then. But like right now, no siree. I am perfectly fine where I'm currently standing in right at this point. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that front. So let's go ahead and actually, you know what? I have an idea. I'm gonna go and grab my hands on this cute little thing over here. Let me see. Is there a thing right here? Hold on. Let me go and open this up. I'm gonna go and yeah, there we go. We're gonna go and put that little bad boy somewhere around here. You know what? I'm gonna keep him over here because I think he would look cute on this end, right? Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have our cute little lad right over here because this guy's gonna be in our discussion for today as we're gonna be talking about Legends EA. Are you seeing Fantastic Four this week? Abso-freaking-lutely I am. I am looking forward to this movie and cannot wait to watch it when the time comes, and maybe I'll share my impressions on it, like a little quickie review for it. But will it be fantastic or not? I can't say. So look forward to that if I ever talk about it on a video or say here on a streaming thing. So yeah. He's a goofy goober, but Dude, I cannot wait to see where things are going to go for that. But okay, let's continue. So moving along from Pokemon Friends, we obviously have our hands on this guy over here. We're going to save a little bit for him. I want to talk more about the other title, the really big one that I'm so very excited for. Pokemon Champions. I have no idea why I almost forgot to say it. I have no idea why I completely forgot the name of that thing. So I am looking forward to it. And also, a friend of mine is sharing some stuff on Discord here. Dude, I cannot wait. I haven't seen any of the footage for Legends ZA, buddy. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hell they have in store for that. But anyway, let's continue. So, Pokemon Champions coming out on mobile devices and on Nintendo Switch as well. They haven't confirmed a Nintendo Switch 2 version yet. They just confirmed that there is a Nintendo Switch version that's coming out. I'm wondering if there will be a Switch 2 that will like enhance some of the visual graphics and maybe make, spruce it up to like hit that 4K. Dude, Pokemon in 4K in a battling scene like that? Oh, absolutely, sign me up. There is quite a lot of things that they brought up in Pokemon Champions that I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about. And I've talked some more about it previously in the presentation discussion post stream, where I mentioned that one of my favorite things so far, at least from Champions, is the availability of being able to obtain your own Pokemon and train them as well in the game. So there is no microtransactions from what we know. There is no currency that you have to pay to then acquire, to then update these Pokemons. The only way, from what I'm hearing so far, that you're able to fully train your Pokemon in Pokemon Champions, outside of taking them, what the hell is that thing in the background? So and this is my favorite thing, dude. My favorite thing about this is that Pokemon Champions is wanting you to fully immerse yourself with battling. You gain points for battling. You win some, you lose some, but you get rewarded points regardless. Those points then transfer over to your Pokemon that you can then adjust their EVs and IVs. Actually, I think EVs and IVs were sort of removed from the equation, and now there's like a little bit more of a streamlined variation going on in Pokemon Champions. There's quite a lot of insanity that they're trying to do to make it more friendly in terms of like audiences who might not be familiar with the competitive scene. But I'm really loving how they're taking full advantage of all of the Pokemon that they have in hand by making it easy for you, the audience, to actually power them up, make them into a competitive Mon. Whether maybe you want to focus on a more speedier Mon rather than an attack Mon, you are given that freedom of choice. You can even change its nature. Maybe you can give it an item or something of that sort to help accommodate for that. But like, they're really taking full advantage of you, being able to create your own competitive Mon. There is no restrictions in that front there. The only restriction that I could see that would be worth discussing is mainly the fact that there is no way for you to properly, to properly bring all of the Pokemon. So Pokemon Champions suffers the same situation from a lot of the current gen Pokemon games, in that all of the Pokemon are not going to be available. So from Generation 1 to Generation 9, not everyone is going to be in the game. Only a select few. And I'm crossing my fingers, hoping to dear God that they actually bring some of the fan favorite mons in. I'm going to assume it's based off the Pokemon Paldea Dex. Obviously because Scarlet and Violet is currently the game that's out right now. So I think all of the mons specifically from Scarlet and Violet is going to be in this game. But I hope that they kind of go a little further, I guess in preparations probably for when the Gen 10 game is going to come out, that they're going to then incorporate more of the missing mons plus the additional new mons that are going to be coming out as well. Which, if that's going to be the case, okay, I'll get that. But it makes sense, no? Like, I mean, you've had Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's decks already completed for well over a couple of years now. I think maybe a year or two at this point. And so, off the top of my head, I would assume it would just be drag and drop into Pokemon Champions, because really all you're doing is just, you're not having them travel around the world. You're not having them go with you in battling Wildmon, trainers, champions, leaders, etc. And you're only battling against other opponents. And that's really it. So, like, I'm not thinking to myself, like, they're not going to need to do that much of a change. I would love for them to maybe update more of the visual animations and, like, attacks and whatnot to make it more, you know, spruced up and better looking. But, like, I would assume that all of the monsters Scarlet and Violet are going to be in here. Now, hang on. We still don't know about Mega Dragonite's ability, and it won't be revealed in ZA. Maybe Champions might do something about it. That's actually another thing I wanted to bring up as well. So, I think in Legend ZA... Wait, is abilities just straight up gone in Legend ZA? I could have sworn that they mentioned that, that Legend ZA was supposed to have, like, the abilities in it. Or at least that from the stats. I think there was some... No, accuracy was removed in Pokemon Legends ZA, but I didn't know anything about abilities in that front. I like the moves to feel more intense. So that's what it is. You know, like... Water Gun... Like, let's go like this. Like, Water Gun feels like a traditional spray attack. And then Hydro Pump feels like just a stronger Water Gun attack in the sense of, like, the animation side of things. I would love for, like, Hydro Pump to feel more impactful. Like, I want to hear, like, the gushing sound, like that force of energy hitting that Pokemon. Even if it won't, like, knock it back or anything, I want to hear that, like, crunch effect. You know, I want to hear, like, how, like, it makes it feel like, oh shit, I actually kind of hurt this mod more than I thought. You know, like, I want it to sound impactful. Like, I want the, like, if you're not going to fix up the animation, fix up the sound design. The sound design for that could go hard with some of the sound effects, bro. So yeah. It says no, Executive Judge says no abilities, just like Legends Arceus. Okay, so it's going to be like that. But also, from what I'm told as well, accuracy is completely cut off from the picture, bro. And I know that my buddy over here is saying moves can also be upgraded as well. I remember, when was it that Champions because PP's cut too. Oh yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about that too. So yeah, moves are upgradable. The PP itself has been cut. Rest in PP, I guess. But the accuracy also removed and out of the picture. There is quite a lot that they're taking out from it. So what I personally think is happening here, then, you know, I'm excited for, is mainly the fact that... Pause, that sounded weird. You're good, buddy, I promise. No, what makes it so exciting for me is that I've played a game like this before in the past. I would pull it out from here if I have it. Do I actually have a copy of it here in my collection? If I do, this would be great. Actually, yeah, I do actually have it. You know what this game reminds me of? You want to know what Pokemon Legends EA is giving me vibes of? I don't know if you guys heard of this, like, very niche series right here. But this, my friends, is a game called Xenoblade Chronicles. Specifically the second one. And Pokemon Legends ZA is literally shaping up to be almost like this game in a huge way. You know, you as the character, you move around, you have a unit that's attacking, and you could perform different stunts, you can have them move in a different area. Yeah, hey, listen, man, if you're gonna copy homework, you copy from the best. I mean, you know what I mean? Like... I joked about this before, and I said, like, if they were to, because Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, there was a moment in the game story-wise when you get closer to the end game where you'll find yourself in Area 0, and what do? They have you travel with those characters in this area. You can't fly around, you can't use your Koraidon to go from place to place. You're grounded on the floor and you're traversing through this area with these other characters, talking with each other and whatnot. And Pokemon Legends ZA feels like they're adapting that aspect of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet by, first of all, making this self-centered location being of Lumio City, similar to how it's like in Area 0. You're being able to run around the area and even have your allies, some of the characters that you meet in Legends EA, assist you in certain scenes with mega battles and whatnot, and they will participate with you as you're fighting with the mega Pokemon, similar to like how this game is like, where you could, use a roster of a team, adjust their team moves, etc., and fight against some of the characters and bosses. This is straight up this game right here. The battle system is also similar as well. Like, take a look at the layout design of how it was for Pokemon Legends EA, like how some of the Pokemon dodge, how some of the Pokemon attack. It straight up is Pokemon Chronicles right here. Pokemon Xeno Chronicles, bro. This is literally Xenomon. And you know what? If this is the direction that they want to take the Legends series, at least like in almost replicating the feel and the atmosphere of like the Xenoblade games, then this is the direction that I am vibing with. Will they legitimately be as nuanced and as insane as like this game? Absolutely not. No way. Especially for a game that's targeted and mainly for younger audiences, these kind of styles of game would be a little way too complex. So they really oversimplified it by a lot to make it a little bit more, family friendly and more fun. So absolutely, Rob. So this is the Xenoblade right here. But yeah, no, like I don't think I see myself. How you doing there, buddy? I really don't see. What was I gonna say? Like, Legends Z. I really see like there's gonna be a lot of fun coming out of it. I don't see it like it's gonna be as impactful or like as insane as like the mechanics and designs of Xenoblade Chronicles in any of 1, 2, or 3. But I do love that they're kind of taking elements from that in some degree, and other games that follow this tradition. Like Xenoblade is not the one that initiated this whole thing, but this is the perfect example. I could come off the top of my head, and I'm loving that they're doing that with Pokemon because, in a sense, Legends EA is almost getting closer to replicating the feel of the Pokemon anime, which to me is the most exciting thing about this whole thing. I, as a fan, have been very, very much anticipating that day when I would see the Pokemon anime be brought into the world of the video game franchise. You're not really able to in the past because everything is based off a turn battle format, so like you're never gonna see your Pokemon dodge unless their accuracy is shit, or you're never gonna see yourself move around, etc., or like do animations like this and that, like how it's like in the anime. So it is a bit of a bummer, but Legends ZA is really starting to get closer and closer to that. And that was something I also wanted to talk about as well, and that is in regards to the evolution of Pokemon Champions and what that means in and of itself versus what could Gen 10 offer. But we'll save that for when we get to that. We still got quite a lot to discuss for just a bunch of other things. For starters, let's go ahead and just continue getting back into Pokemon Champions. So Pokemon Champions is once again really, really cool. It's super simplified in the sense that you're able to adjust the Pokemon stats to whatever it is you personally want to, but you can only do it if you do more battles, if you do more opponents or fight more opponents throughout the series, etc. And you can even buy Pokemon as well that you can acquire, and then you can adjust those Pokemon stats, and you can transfer Pokemon over from Pokemon Home or Pokemon Go and bring them over here and have them, readjusted. Like, this is such a cool thing, although it does leave me with a lot of questions. For starters, obviously, the first thing I need to ask is, how is that going to be when we take them back? And what I mean by that is that, like, let's say I put my Charizard into the game. I have a fully evolved Charizard. Its stats are pretty abysmal. And I want to use Pokemon Champions as a way to bring out its full potential. So I put my Charizard into the game. I have the points. So I've refixed the Charizard stats to accommodate to what it is that I personally have in mind. Also, what the hell is that audio again that is playing in the background? So yeah, no, like I see myself like I train this Charizard. I make it look this really cool mon. He has a really cool move set. His stats are significantly better, etc. Like I look forward to using it in battle in its fullest potential, and it happens. And then I want to take the Charizard back, and I want to bring it back into home, and even potentially into my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet game. Will those stats carry back, or and like if it does carry back, which would be great, then I cannot wait to use it in Scarlet and Violet. If it doesn't carry back, will those points immediately disappear? Like what happens? Because then I bring it to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and it's back to its traditional uh stats that it once had before I put it into Champions. Like if I were to re-bring it back into Champions, do all of those points that I used on Charizard just disappear? Or are they registered? Are they kept in case I bring the Charizard back into the game? Like, I would kind of hope that you get rewarded in Champions for doing more battles to, super train your Pokemon. And then you can use those super trained mons that you earned by battling other trainers to then carry them over into the next game or into the current gen game. I think that makes sense, right? Like I'm not tripping here in that department and feeling like I'm asking for a lot. I don't think I'm asking for a lot. I'm more so curious to see how Game Freak intends to kind of tackle that. Because when you bring mobile scenes into the mix and you bring Pokemon Home into the mix and you know that you're bringing EV and IV training and, adjusting stats and moves, etc., like, where is the restriction to it all? Where is that endpoint where you can and cannot do things anymore? Like I really want to know what Pokemon has in store for that, and it is going to be a huge mystery in that department. Because, well, I really don't know what they got in mind. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I don't know what's going to happen. But do I look forward to it? Oh, absolutely. I do look forward to it. I just don't know what it is that they have planned for us all. So I look forward to Pokemon Champions when it comes out in 2026. So that means that Pokemon Legends ZA will be out by then. We'll probably hear Pokemon Champions in Pokemon Presents of next year. I would love for it. Like, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I assume that Pokemon Champions is going to be a shadow drop when that Pokemon Presents is concluded. That's my assumption on the matter. I think that would make the most sense. I think it would be really cool for fans to just play it right away, immediately after the presentation. Who wouldn't do that? They did that with Pokemon Friends. Now use that for your competitive game. People will lose their mind, and I think it will be amazing. And also, it's a great way to celebrate the 30th anniversary, just like Savion over here says as well. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that, it makes money. It prints money right then and there, chat. It seems that DA will be more battle-centric than Arceus was. So, yeah, no, I'm excited for that. I do like that they're using like a ranking system. You rank from Z and you climb up to your rank A. And I did see that when Trainer was ranking from Z to Y, their Pokemon were like at level 40, at least from how it was shown off in the presentation. So it has me questioning how early, like how late in the game are you gonna have to be to see these level 40 Pokemon shoot you from Z to Y? Like, what? So I don't know what's going on. I'm curious about the ranking system in this game. I think it's gonna be nuts. The only thing I just hope is that it doesn't pull a Johto, where it's just so one-sided, because they try to make it so branched out, to where like all of the trainers are going to be around the same level, etc. But you could be like 10, 20 levels ahead, or maybe even behind. Who knows? Yeah, so Pokemon Legends ZA looks like a lot of fun in that department. There are some other cool things as well, but my buddy over here mentioned that there are going to be some pretty cool things that you can do with your Pokemon, and the fact that you're able to show more than one Pokemon following you. So this was something that they kind of experimented a little bit in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. If you remember that the Sunflora minigame. The Sunflora minigame, you're able to collect a bunch of Sunflora, take them with you as you travel around the minigame land so you can go and battle against the gym leader in that town. In the original Scarlet and Violet game on the Nintendo Switch 1, that ran abysmal. On the Switch 2, that really fixed itself in many great ways. But it also made it a hassle too because you had to work and wiggle your way around them, to be fair. But no, it's interesting that you're able to have it, and I think they're replicating the feel of like how they did it for Pokemon X and Y, where you're able to like talk to this cameraman, and then you could kind of take a photo with some of the Pokemon. I think in particular zones, I think they're trying to really recapture that aspect. So I love it though. It really does make it feel more interconnected with your Pokemon compared to how it was with Legends Arceus, where the Pokemon are much more quote unquote wild and unresponsive and capable of harming you in many ways, etc., etc. Pokemon Legends ZA is going through its original roots of what made Pokemon battling so great, but also evolving it in a way to where it's inching itself closer and closer to the feel of the Pokemon anime franchise. Something that I think fans have never thought that they'd ever see the light of day for that. And as somebody who's enjoyed the living hell out of Pokemon Legends, or not Pokemon Legends, but the Pokemon anime, I love it. I really do. This is like the childhood dream game of mine for the Pokemon franchise, now fully realized, fully explored, fully potential, you know? So like, I guess it's just a matter of questioning if they will succeed in that or not. But we'll have to wait for when the game comes out in that department. It also seems like the game is going to be pushing very hard on the story aspect as well. As from what my buddy over here says. And I do want to say that I'm really loving that they're kind of taking elements of X and Y and sort of further evolving it, pun intended, with like Emma and her story about being the detective, you with your crew. I think it's called MZ, is that correct? I don't remember. I think it was something like that, MZ. Where you and your crew work around the world or the land of Lumio City, and y'all you know, work on making the area a better place for people and Pokemon, and along the way you work on towards your rank to get high up to the top. You meet these other characters, you meet recurring characters from other past games. There are some characters in here that a lot of people are saying, hey, wait a minute, this character kind of feels like a spiritual successor to this character. For example, Tierno. He's nowhere to be found in the game, but there's this chick that joins you in the game, and her shtick is that she is a dancer, at least wants to become a dancer, and who kind of fits that sort of vibe similar to, you know, back in the X and Y games. I mean, come on, like, you know, you can see what they're trying to cook up here with that. So, it also beat another cast of 3, like how it was with Tierno, Trevor, and Shauna, I think was her name. I'm gonna be real, I don't remember the chick's name. I hope it was that. Yeah, so it was, okay, great. So, like, they're really trying to kind of, like, bring that element back into this. So, really cool on that department. And I really love what they're trying to go for with that. If they're trying to, like, recapture the story element of the Pokemon X and Y games, but with these successors here instead. And like how, you know, they're showing all these various features with like what they're capable of doing. The fact that these characters kind of embark these journeys with you, and also you can have these trainers join you in raids as well. That to me is the super exciting part of this whole thing. I wonder if they'll acknowledge the Lumio's gym. So that has to be acknowledged. I mean, it's in the logo of the Legends ZA thing as well. Like, the gym is the tower. Like, it was built with the tower in mind. Like, they just can't ignore the gym aspect of it. Or maybe they'll just come out and say, bro, they went on vacation, and so this thing is going to be used for the Z to A ranking competition instead. And then when we get to the top 4 traders of Lumio City, they will participate in this tower, like, structure. And, you know, they have to do something with the tower. Like, I think that, would the tower be the end game? That would be crazy. Imagine if you're working your way towards getting to the Prism Tower, and that's supposed to be the actual end game content right there. And then you get to the very top, and then that's when you see the Zygarde in his fully 100% form, duking it out with whatever the hell is the main villain of the story. And like this kind of like a giant Gundam like fight as you're watching this Pokemon like punch through the city, and like you see the destruction of the town and whatnot happening. You're like, I don't know, I don't really know what the hell they're gonna do, but hey, I'm trying to cook something up here. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of fun with that. Then of course there are a bunch of these characters coming back. Who was her name? Mabel from Team Flare, which by the way, she's rocking. she's rocking this Team Flare gaming chair, and I'm gonna go under the assumption that, hey, listen here, Nintendo or Game Freak or whoever it is that works on the merchandise aspects, the Pokemon Company, I guess. You put out a gaming chair Team Flare design in the game. If you don't take full advantage of that by creating a real life version of it that you could sell, you're missing out. Okay? I'm just saying, there are already super fans out there for this chick. And for some reason, she's a professor, I think. And people are already losing their minds over her. And to be fair, it's really good. It's really, really good. So, like, you know, I'm going to go under the assumption that, hey, I think that they might pull it off. And I would love for them to, you know, make it a merch. So, come on. Nintendo, Pokemon Company, give it to me. Just saying. I wouldn't mind switching out this Staples chair for that one. Although, to be fair, this chair is really comfy. Really, really comfy. There are occasions, because of how comfortable this thing is, that I'm actually capable of passing out without realizing it. It's like that types of comfy, bro. Highly recommend this chair if you need another chair. I'm not really a big fan of the gaming chairs as much like I was before. I've grown more to love this type of chair instead over time. Wonder where all the other Team Flare admins went after Lysander said peace. That is a good question. I'm not 100% sure, and we'll probably learn more about them in the game. Like, they're just not going to cut them out, except for, I guess, Sycamore. Because Professor Sycamore is just nowhere to be seen. I guess he just went hasta la vista, baby, and just decided to poof out of the story. Even though his lab is straight up in Lumio City, but he's out of the picture for some reason. Yo, how bad of an insane twist it'd be if he ended up being the villain of the story. Because it's like an alternate timeline or some shit like that. And we really don't know a lot about what this game is trying to do. And can I just say I love that? Can I just say that I'm a big fan of that, though? That, like, I really don't know a lot about what Pokemon Legends ZA is all about. Like, hell, even the Pokemon that they're showing off, like, we see a lot of mods, but, like, I don't really know how it's going to be like in the main game. How is, imagine if this was in the anime, lol. Dude, I mean, it can happen. There's no denying it. There's no denying the potential that could come from that. Like, I mean, you got, who was it? You got 2 trainers currently in the main squad in Horizons who are rocking Mega Rings, and they almost look like the designs, like as if they were ripped out of this the game. So I'm just saying it could 100% work. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels like Pokemon Horizons has a lot more story to tell, so I don't think it's going to finish anytime soon in preparation for Pokemon Legends ZA. Also, Pokemon Legends ZA isn't like a next-gen game, so I don't think they're going to go ahead and try to make an anime for this sort of thing. We'll see. We'll see, though. I would love for it to kind of be explored more in the anime, because I kind of enjoyed that a lot, especially with like some of the characters in Scarlet and Violet, when we do occasionally see them, of course, like Nimona. Like, we got to see a little bit more of her in the anime side. You know, I would love to see her more, Iono as well, Penny. So I'm just saying, I think it would be great to kind of see more of that explored over time. But for now, let's go ahead and enjoy the ZA game when it drops. Zygarde's inclusion was their ZA nod, I guess. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was trying to go for. Also, what the hell is this ad going on? Like, I really got to get rid of this ad at some point. Um, Zygarde, yeah. So the white Zygarde, right? I think that's what it was. Yeah, and I don't know. It's gonna be rather interesting to see what they try to pull off with this because, like, I really don't know what they're gonna try to cook, what they're gonna attempt to cook with this one. I'll be 100% real with y'all. I'm just glad Horizons is doing its own separate thing over time. So yeah. But you might be 100% right though. He's out drinking with the XY Protects, Professor Sycamore, and I mean, after all the chaos that happened in the X and Y games, and if you read the manga, even worse there, they absolutely deserved it. I'm just saying. So Legend ZA, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not like the most excited or like mind blown, like I need this game yesterday kind of mindset, but I am looking forward to playing it though. And I cannot wait to experience what that game is going to offer for us and how they'll try to make it, unique in its own way. How does this game compare or stack against the previous Legend ZA game and its other predecessors of games that came out on the Nintendo Switch, So I look forward to that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about something. This might be a bit of a spoiler or a leak or whatnot, but now we're going to go ahead and talk about this thing right over here. This adorable Pokemon, his name, her name, its name is Dragonite, who pulled off in getting a Dragonite, and Mega evolved into this Mega Dragonite with the cute little wings on its head. So when I first reacted to this, I was completely stunned as hell over the fact that they thought this was actually pretty good of a design. And then over time, I kind of grew to love it because I was reminded that those wings are almost similarly structured. And if you look more at the design of this Mega Dragonite, it looks almost identical to what a Dragonair would be like, except if it had hands and legs and whatnot. And it's so true. I am so excited for this. This is straight up a Dragonair. But a cooler Dragon. This is like the Dragonair. Oh, dude, I'm a Digimon game though. I'm very excited for that one. Just to let you know. But this is Dragonair the way I think fans were hoping it would be. And I guess I hope it's... Listen, I'm just going to say this right now. Game Freak, you're copying the aspects of its original design aspects of Dragonair. So, I think it would be really cool if the shiny variation of this thing would be similar to its original color scheme for Dragonair. I'm just saying, how cool would it be if its shiny coloring matched the Dragonair regular color? Instead of whatever the color it's currently at. I think it's like purple or something like that. Or green. I love it though. It's weird. I'm gonna be real. It's so weird how people are very divisive about this design, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what's bad about this? Like genuinely, like to those who might be in the chat who may be a little bit iffy on it, out of curiosity, what's throwing you off from this design? Because for me personally, I love what I'm seeing. Like, once again, look at that. It got the little thing that was like in a Dragonair's tail. You got the cute little wings like how it was with Dragonair right there. Its Dex entry is hilarious in the sense that he wants to finish the fights faster because he feels sympathy for you. His emotions become super kind-hearted. And so he's feeding you with a smile on his face as he's watching you pummel your ass into the ground nonstop. But he's doing it with a smile because he wants to love you. Dude, I love it so much. I love this thing so much. Like, I genuinely want you to think like this Dragonite is just with the most giddy smile you could think of. And you just see him walloping the shit out of this Pokemon who's already on the ground, just collapsed or just getting punched left and right on the floor. But the Dragonite is just still giving the nicest, kind-hearted smile you could think of, only because that's what it is. Its personality got amplified because it Mega Evolved. That is the funniest text entry we gotten for a Mega, bro. It has me in tears with that one. The moment I read into it and they're like, oh, by the way, the reason this is like this, that's just how he wants to be, bro. He loves you. Boom. Knocks you out cold, bro. The big bulky tail stands out. I love the bulky tail, though, 100%. Wings on the head and not the back is certainly creative. But see, here's the thing. It still has its wings on its back. So it has wings on its head and on its back. And then there's this little cute emblem thing here. Mega Pincer tier Dex entry. He's just excited to fly. Oh man, no, but like I said, bro, I love this design. I am such a big fan of this design. I'm a big fan of its Dex entry, and I feel this Dragonite, competitive wise, could really be a lot of fun. I think that's what could be the biggest joy out of this. It's just that it really does feel like there is potential for competitive wise with this mod. And just how exciting and hilarious it would be that the mod that ends up being the victor in like the entire thing is just one that's just been giving you nothing but a smile on its face the whole time because it loves you like that. Oh my god. Hello there. How are you doing there? Hope you've been doing well. I think, how you say the name? Aqua Mirai. How you doing there? We're currently talking about Pokemon Legends ZA, you know, our impressions on this cute little thing right over here called the Mega Dragonite. Also, another thing I really want to get into, can I just say, I'm so glad that the joke finally came to be. Like, there was somebody who was holding, like, there's this image, like, of just somebody holding this thing of, like, a bottle with, like, science stuff, and they're like, at long last, Dragonite Night. Like, because this thing's already called Dragonite, the Mega Stones have an "ite" at the end of it. You can't just call it a Dragonite. You have to add on top of it. So what are they gonna call it? The Dragonite-ite. Now, mind you, I think in other languages, I feel like that is adjusted because it works for that. But for Dragonite, on the other hand, they can't just call it Dragonite because that's its name. You gotta give it something different. So I think it being called Dragonite is probably the funniest thing. I think that's the reason why this Mega exists. I do think that the reason this thing exists is only because they wanted to make that term be a thing and confuse the heck out of traders. The Dragonite, you sometimes have to understand, meme culture is such an amazing thing. So I'm just saying, I think it would be a lot of fun. I think it would be a lot of fun to just witness it fully play out, bro. So yeah. I loved it as a kid. I can't wait for the music. Oh, yeah, I have to talk about that, though, Aquamirai. Also, by the way, I'm actually able to get your text translated, so that's also helping me. I do got to talk about that, though, because the Poke Park is so exciting to me. I love that. But don't care where my... Listen, my Mega Flygon is still going to happen. I'm still rooting for Flygonite to fully happen. I cannot wait for Mega Flygon. Please, fingers crossed. So now I do want to get a little bit quick before we move on into the next topic, but here's the thing. So Dragonite, or Mega Dragonite, was actually part of a bigger leak per se that happened not too long ago that was attached to a bunch of other Mega Evolution leaks. And unfortunately, this created a huge issue, or maybe a good solution, because this also meant that due to the presentation coming out, the design that they were describing on it in the leak kind of came true in some capacity, which potentially indicates or hints that the other Pokemon that were in the description for these are also potentially true as well. Now, I won't go into details on them out of respect for those who don't want to know, and I'm also not really gonna go ahead and look too deep into it because I really don't believe 99% of it. But it does raise an eyebrow once we realize that the Dragonite that they talked about before here matches identically to the description of what was shown in the presentation. So keep that in mind for the future. So Pokemon Legends EA, once again, is a title that I look forward to. There's a lot of cool concepts. There's a lot of cool things that happen around there. From the story aspects to the gameplay mechanics to it almost feeling like Xenoblade Chronicles in some capacity. And just a bunch of other cool things coming our way. Also, that Ralts is coming as well. If you buy the game, you get yourself a free Ralts with the Gardevoir to Mega Evolve it into Mega Gardevoir, which is really cool. It'd be kind of funny if you accidentally evolve that Ralts into a Gallade by accident, though. Let's be real. Unless they make sure that it cannot ever evolve into a Gallade, then good on you. It's a female Ralts. But if you give us a male or female Ralts, like a male Ralts, it's over. I'm just saying that thing's going straight to Gallade Town. So yeah, fingers crossed on that aspect. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the thing Aquamirai was mentioning a while ago here. Pokepark. So, raise of hands, just out of curiosity, raise of hands to those in the chat. How do you feel before and after they mentioned Pokepark? Because when I heard the name Pokepark, the first thing that came to my head was the video game. The actual, like, they're bringing the Pokepark IP back for another franchise. Like, are we gonna see Pokepark as like the next Pokepark game? Because we had the one based off the Unova characters with Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott with Pikachu, and then we had the original one. And I thought, oh my god, I cannot wait. The next, like, they're actually making another spin-off Pokepark. And then it didn't turn out to be the case. It turns out that the Pokepark aspect of it is that they're actually making a real-life Pokepark. And we didn't really get to see a lot of the layout and design of it, except for like a short diagram that they had on display in the stream, which showed like where the Pokemon would be, what the area would be like, where Pokemon would be battling, which, by the way, nice little nod there to like one of the champions fights that they had with the Pachirisu and the Garchomp there. So that's what it felt like. It, like, I was opening it up, I was like, oh my god, we're about to see some hype, and then they showed the park. Now, okay, let me be blunt though on this end. Am I excited for it? Oh, absolutely. I am 100% looking forward to it. Now, the reason why is because I do see myself traveling back to Japan at some point in the future. I went to Japan, when was it? In 2024, I believe it was. And I spent there for a couple of weeks traveling through Kyoto to Nagoya to Hakone, Tokyo, a bunch of locations around Japan in the couple of weeks that I was in. And I had a lot of fun with that. And so, obviously, there was just so much that I want to see more of. And if I ever find myself going in, say, 2026 or sometime in the years after that, I would want to see and maybe make a pit stop to the Pokepark Kanto. Because some of the cool things that they showed off in the Pokepark Kanto is really fun. For example, I really love how there is a particular design that they showed off. Well, whether or not it's going to be replicated in the park itself, it's to be wait and see. But one of the routes is straight up Route 1 from Red, Blue, and Yellow. It's just the design. You'll like it looked really cool, and they bring that kind of like design, that blocky design to the real world Poke Park, that route in and of itself would be the most exciting thing in my opinion. Why? Because I think I found myself immersed in the world of Pokemon for the very first time in real life, bro. Like imagine walking in a recreation of Route 1 in real life in its natural design here. How amazing would that be? Like, yes, it's red, blue, and yellow. Again, I know people might be tired of it, but it's this recreation of it in real life. You see these Pokemon statues, or maybe they're gonna make them animatronics. I'm not 100% sure what they're gonna do, but imagine just walking around there and you see like the Pidgeys roaming around there. You see what other mons around there, like Rattata's there as well. Maybe they'll add some other variations of mons. Like you might see Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur walking around the area too. You don't really know what they're gonna do, and that's the most exciting part about it, because like it almost feels like this is the start of what they want to do. Like the fact that they're calling it Poke Park Kanto instead of just Poke Park, obviously they're taking huge inspiration of Gen 1, but like this implies that they may want to try to go and do a Poke Park Johto or a Poke Park Hoenn or a Poke Park Sinnoh, etc. Like when we get to Poke Park Unova, are they actually going to maybe take chunks of, say, here in New York City or around the New York State and maybe make a park based around the Unova side of things? Like, because I mean, it's based off New York, so I mean, maybe we'll get a new Poke Park Unova at some point in the future. Who knows? And that to me is what's exciting, is because it feels like there's such limitless potential for what they could do with this, and I look forward to seeing myself immerse in this world and seeing myself immerse in Poke Park Kanto if I ever find myself there. Of course, you need to reserve your tickets to get into it. You can't just simply walk in and then you're fine. No, you got to get your hands on a ticket reservation and then you can go in. Similar to like how it is for like the Poke Cafe, or say the Poke Parks, not Poke Park. What is it like? The Pokemon attractions is that they have in Japan. Like there are certain things that are restricted behind reservations, which makes sense if they don't want to have something super crowded up. So what do? They accommodate by making things reserved for those who get their hands on it. And I really would love to, try to see if I can get my hands on one of those dates. So fingers crossed that it happens. But yeah, so that's really all I gotta say on that front for the Poke Park. I really did like what we did see, and if they ever do finish it by the time I say I go to Japan, I'll definitely make sure to find some time in that trip to go over there. Fingers crossed I get tickets for it as well, and visit it. Now, it's not gonna be like huge as like say an amusement park, or as like a Universal Studios or like Disney, like it's not going to be like that gargantuan at all whatsoever. When they call it a park, I'm going to assume it's just the size of a park. Like they're not going to go that crazy with it. And you see the design too. Like they show it off, like it's nothing mind-blowing in terms of the scope for it, but I think finding yourself immersed in there, seeing yourself in this in route 1 recreation, seeing these replicas of Pokemon that will probably be life scaled to their life size thing and whatnot, I think would be really cool. I would want to visit that. I would love to see how it's like. I want to see how the battle stuff looks like. Like they clearly have like an arena for Pokemon to battle. I think that would be really cool. You know what I mean? So I look forward to it. I really do find it exciting to know that they're really starting to branch out more outside of what is from the traditional stuff that we expect from Pokemon, whether it be spin offs or stuff like that. They're actually making experiences become much more real life, they did this before, I think, back in the day, where they did have amusement parks for that before they then took it down. So to kind of see that this time around that they're trying to make one that's more so catered to like the natural designs of the world, by making it tied to said park, I think is really awesome. So yeah, very big fan of that. We'll learn more about Poke Park in the distant future when we, well, learn more about it. But for now, as it stands, that's all I got to say on that front. I look forward to seeing what they intend to do with that. I look forward to seeing if it will succeed, and if it does, I cannot wait to go ahead and plan a trip to go over there and then share my thoughts on the matter. But like I said, it's just a park, but I say that as just calling it just a park. But the moment I walk into said park, I'm going to be like in that movie in Ratatouille where he turns into like a kid in that, like, after taking a bite of that ratatouille. That's gonna be me the moment I take my first step into Route One. It's gonna be like Black and White when you're with Bianca and your other friend. I forgot his other name, bro. What was the other guy's name? It was you, Bianca, and what was his name? Sharon? Sharon. Okay, Sharon. I was gonna call him Chad, bro. I forgot his name, but walking with Bianca and Sharon, okay? It's gonna be like that when you walk into the first step into the route, right? That's what it's gonna be like when you're playing the Poke Park in real life. When you take your first step and you find yourself in Route One in real life, bro. That's gonna be like how it's gonna feel, at least assumption wise. And if this is gonna be the start for when they do it, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for when they bring the Poke Park Unova. I'm just saying, we have a lot of land probably somewhere here in New York City that you could go ahead and make a park out of. Just make sure it's nearby me. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind taking the time out of my day to go walk over there and take a look at that park. I'm right here, Masuda. Like, give me a hookup right there. Let me see. Come on, man, please. So that's what I gotta say on that end. Mm. Water. Good. Okay, so that's all I gotta say on Poke Park in general. Don't really got much else to add to the thing. I hope people are looking forward to it. And I hope maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys in the chat. I'll be here on YouTube and on Twitch. Are you guys looking forward to it? Are you guys looking forward to seeing how it's going to design yourself? And hey, you never know. Maybe you can start planning to eventually mine your way to Japan in 2026 to go and visit the Poke Park. Just saying. So let's go take a look at what the chat has been saying here. Executive Judge says, the vision might be dead KG. Mega Flygon wasn't meant to be lol. Listen, man. I don't want to hear that. Mega Flygon is going to happen. I am not coping. I swear to God, he is going to. No, she is. It's going to happen. It needs to happen. Please. Flygon fans have been suffering long enough. You decided to use the various generations that you're introducing Mega Evolutions by giving it to everything except the Pokemon that would look as cool as hell. It's just Flygon. Come on, man. Please. And they could suffer longer. They could. Because you never know. Pokemon Legends ZA could be the last time we see Mega Evolutions for the next 10 to 15 years. So, yeah. Let me see what else is being said here. I bet they wish they had Mega Dragonite for the Masters 8. Bro, Mega Dragonite for Ash would have been insane. Just saying. Animatronics, Five Nights at Ursaluna's. You'll never catch me working at the Poke Park, that's for sure, but I will sure as hell love being in there during the day. Just saying. Hawaii Alola Park. Dude, Alola Park in... Oh, no, the Poke Park in Alola or Poke Park in Hawaii would be kind of cool as well. Lance would have dominated, maybe Ash too. I didn't even think about Lance's Dragonite. I'm going to be 100% real with you. The first thing that came to mind was Ash's Dragonite. Now, if Lance's Dragonite was the same one as that Pokemon, what was that shorts that they called it? The Pokemon, it wasn't Pokemon Chronicles, but it was like these shorts that they had like various parts of traveling through these, which is Lance Tree Dragonites, the one that gets the W's, bro. Let's be real. Generations, that's what it was called. Yes, thank you, Leaf. Pokemon Generations. Now, if it's based off that Dragonite, the one who just ripped and like threw these chunks of electronics into the wall and shit, just had that whole thing explode from side to side. If that's the Dragonite you're talking about, okay, we might have a problem. If it's Iris's, also don't forget we're talking about Ash's Dragonite and and Lance's Dragonite. Iris's Dragonite, though? Can we talk about Iris's Dragonite for like a minute, please? So, that to me is going to be the worst of the worst. They mentioned how your emotions or your kind heartedness amplifies by tenfold. And I want you to picture Iris's Dragonite, who is like the biggest asshole in the entirety of the Pokemon cast within the main crew. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna be a bigger jerk when he mega evolves. Like instead of his kind heartedness, he's gonna like amplify his rudeness and his horrible behavior and straight up become a legitimate threat that nobody can control, and it will be the end of the Unova region as we know it because somebody thought it was a good idea to mega evolve this creature into this thing. Okay? They thought, oh, maybe Iris's Dragonite will finally come into be a positive unit. No, you amplified its negative aspects, and now he's gonna come and kick everyone's ass and do it with a much more aggressive face as he's beating the pulp out of you, bro. I'm so glad that they're leaning into the more cartoony aesthetic with ZA. Agreed as well. And he was still losing the end. I think that's what's so funny about it is that Iris's Dragonite would still be like the biggest threat in the world, and then Georgia would come in and just start ice beaming it, and they would fall into the ground, and game over. There you go. Hey, listen, at least they'll stop it though, so that's the best thing about the situation. Okay, it has to lose. If it doesn't lose, then Unova is gone as we know it. You're gonna see the Horizon cast come to Unova, and it's just an entire wasteland here from one area of the region to the other. Be like, what the hell happened here? That happened, and they'll point to the Dragonite just being a nuisance. So yeah. Ah man, I look forward to more about this Dragonite. He's been jobbing since his victory against Don. Hey man, I have another Mon in a later gen who's also been jobbing the moment he evolved into his final form. I'm just saying, bro. Apparently, jobbing is a thing when you get introduced late game, so you know. The new friends have Mega Rings. Unless Dragonite would have a second Mega, it would probably match Iris's Dragonite's edgy personality. Well, I don't think we're gonna get a second Mega because unfortunately, Legend ZA is just one title compared to like say X and Y, which had separate variations. Like it makes no sense to call it a X and a Y, or make an X version and a Y version when it's all gonna be in one game. Compared to how it was with X and Y when they were able to make restrictions or not restrictions but like exclusives to that, which makes it very curious to see how they're gonna handle that when we move into yeah Legends EA, and then they're gonna try to figure out how to accommodate Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y, etc. So yeah, Megazord Z no less, and then it's just gonna be Charizard, but like he's in the shape of a Z, like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they might call them Mega. They might call it Mega something, and then it's gonna instead of being called X or Y or even Z, it's gonna be called ZA. I don't know. I'm making an assumption at this point. We'll see. They should give Dragonite the Mega Bead Drill treatment. Trust, just trust. Well, we'll see what. Well, I mean, he's a very happy-go-lucky. I mean, look at his happiness, bro. You could trust his face, right? I mean, maybe not. Maybe not Iris's Dragonite, but I mean you can trust the other Dragonites. Just saying. Oh man, Megas have a timer now, which makes sense because obviously this is like more of a interactive Pokemon arena for a fighting game because it's like it gets rid of the accuracy. You're able to move your Pokemon from side to side. You're able to bounce around the area. It's trying to replicate the anime, so they got to do some quality of life changes to accommodate for that. So it makes sense that they're, now including a timer. Now, mind you, I don't want the timer to go away in like 30 seconds or something, but it does get me interested to see what they intend to do for that, for the mega battle concept side of things for Pokemon Legends ZA. But we'll save that for when we get more footage for that later. All right, so let's get into the next thing. Was there anything else to really talk about when it comes to Pokemon Presents? I mean, I guess there was the DJ Pikachu. Anybody stuck around for the DJ event though? Out of curiosity, the one prior to when the presentation came to be, because that was really good. I'll give it credit. Credit where credit's due. That shit was really good. Had me pull out my shades over here as I went to go and just jam to the tunes of the Pokemon music. Now, I made an assumption, and I still do believe it, that the music that was introduced in Pokemon in the Pokemon DJ mix, I think is going to find its way into the main Pokemon champions. I'm just saying, bro. I think it might potentially happen, and if it does, that would be kind of cool. Not gonna lie. So yeah, that Yakuza. But yeah, so we'll see what happens though. For now though, that's really all I gotta add on that front for Legends EA for Pokemon Champions. I talked about Pokemon Friends already. Very cutesy looking game. Pokemon Unite, I don't really talk too much about. Pokemon Cafe Remix, not really much to talk about. Pokemon Masters EX, not much to talk about. Pokemon... Oh! The shows, guys. How do we forget about the shows? Pokemon Concierge Season 2. Season 2 is coming, and I'm so excited, bro. As a fan of the first season, I'm so excited to talk about this second one. It looks like they're gonna finally explore what they started off the show with at Season 1, with the relationship breakup and all that. And then jumping into Season 2, it looks like that character is going to come back into the story front. And we're going to see a little bit of that play out. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see where things are going to go for that. Tokyo Revengers looking poison, dude. Oh, man. But, no, I even saw Mimikyu try to sneak in. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, the Aardman series. Let's talk about that one, too, as well. So, Sirfetch'd and Pichu, not Pikachu, Pichu. Here's my prediction. It's going to pull off a Falcon and a Winter Soldier situation, where it's going to be called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then when Pichu evolves into Pikachu, it's going to do the thing where the title is going to update into Sirfetch'd and Pikachu. That's going to be my big prediction right there for that. Looks really good. I love what I saw so far. I don't know why people are losing their minds over it in like a negative aspect for it. It's made by the same people who make Wallace and Gromit and Shaun the Sheep, bro. This is about to be one of the greatest animated stuff in recent memory. And I'm so grateful, so very grateful that they got Aardman Studios to come and help out with a Pokemon project. That to me is the most exciting thing. I love Aardman's stuff. And so, you know... Come on, man. I can't wait, bro. Where's the Sirfetch'd show airing? I don't think we know much about the information on that so far. At least as far as I'm aware of. I'm very unsure about it. I know for Pokemon Concierge, that's coming in Netflix. They could just have the Aardman series run on YouTube for all we know. We don't really know the details too much on it, but we know it's coming at some point. So we'll see for when it arrives. They made Chicken Run 2. How could y'all hate it? Seriously, you can't hate on Aardman, bro. They gave us the Wallace and Gromit, some of the greatest. They gave us the damn Penguin, bro. How can you hate one of the greatest villains in animated cinematic history, okay? You cannot hate on that villain. He is probably one of the greatest villains of all time. Up there with the likes of Sephiroth and other villains of that era. Dude, that Penguin is villainous, bro. It's good grief. It's you, Fetters McGraw. Oh my god, bro. If you haven't watched the old Wallace and Gromit shows, those are great. I love that new Wallace and Gromit movie. Dude, I went vacationing to Pennsylvania not too long ago, And I remember that was around the time when the movie came out. And so we decided to go and sit down and watch it. Shit was funny and entertaining as hell, especially the boat chase as well. They haven't lost their touch, bro. I'm just saying, they have not lost their touch. It was such a good film. Highly recommended. It is probably up there in like one of my top favorite animated shows or animated movies of the current era of animation. So, thumbs up on that. Pokemon Concierge, like I said, the second season or the second act or 2B or whatever it's called. I'm so excited that that's coming. And you know, it makes me curious to see what they're going to explore, how many episodes they're going to go for, and I hope it's a lot longer. Also, who made the opening song for season 2? We knew about season 1's opening and who made it, which by the way was still one of the best reveals of all time. But like, who's working on the second song for season 2 of Concierge? Does anybody know the name of it? Because I'm kind of curious. I really love to know who it was that made the music, or nobody knows about it as of yet. Fingers crossed that it's an artist that I'm familiar with. How's Bonanza? Dude, Bonanza. Okay, so I've been playing a bit of Bonanza off screen because I only just want to share my first impressions of the game. I don't think I was going to really stream a lot of this on Twitch or on YouTube if I wasn't playing it like daily. So I just decided to play the game on my own accord. I've been having a lot of fun. However, my biggest gripe with this game is that this hits a lot of the things that appeal to me, in the sense that I'm able to destroy everything. And when I am able to destroy everything, I only want to focus on destroying everything before I move on into the next map. So I'm stuck in like the first world of the game as I'm watching Donkey beat the shit out of all of these things, clearing out the entire land, hitting the ground, all that stuff, because I just want to see the floor just clean free. I don't want to leave no bananas, no puzzle pieces, none of that stuff behind. I just want to make sure I have it all, bro. Oh man, no, it's true. Like Bonanza was such a fun game. Like, what was it when it was off stream? I talked with Terrell and some buddies about it. And what were we doing? We were playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, bro. He was playing further in the game because he got further than me. Because, like I said, I'm stuck in World 1 because I'm just breaking the shit out of everything. But, no, Bonanza's just a lot of fun. If you guys haven't had a chance to try it out, please go ahead and try it out. It is a joy to just play. It is literally the elements of, I think somebody said it best, it has all of the best aspects of every platforming game that ever exists out there. And then, for some reason, the Incredible Hulk, the Destruction game on the PlayStation 2. It has all of those aspects in one fell just collection in one game, and it hits. It hits so good. You would have a blast with it. I'm just saying, you would have an absolute good time with it. You beat it already? Man, what you think of it, Acorn? Yeah, don't spoil anything, please. Just let me know what you think of it. Which, by the way, speaking of which, be careful. There are spoilers out there on YouTube. Don't get spoiled if you don't want to get spoiled on stuff. Just saying. But I hope you had a fun time with the game, though. And I hope those who are still playing it are also having a fun time, too. And actually, you know what? I can't say anything. Good. We'll talk about it at a later point, then. The Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, so I've had this thing with me for, well, since its launch till now, at least. And I do want to give at least a genuine opinion on the matter as of right now, on what I think of this console so far. And I'm going to be 100% real with you. I've been loving it. It's been great. But back when I was playing it in the past, before this game came out, I was occasionally playing it frequently here and there, you know. Now I wasn't like too glued into my Switch 2 system. This game has me glued to my Switch 2. This game right here has me invested 99% of the time when I get home. There has never, like, Mario Kart World didn't do that. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, even though I've been really loving the 4K, you know, 60 frames update and all that stuff, none of those titles kept me as glued to my console more than that Donkey Kong game. And that just tells you the quality of this game, bro. I personally think Donkey Kong Bonanza should have been the launch title, and Mario Kart World should have came out like last week. Donkey Kong Bonanza is the system seller, or it needs to be the system seller. It needs to be played by everybody who owns a Switch 2. If you bought a Switch 2, like, known for a fact, you're gonna probably want to get your hands on Bonanza. Like, this game is definitely up there in like a reason to own this thing. But outside of that, though, I kid you not, like, I've been playing my Switch, and I've been enjoying being able to like replay all these old games because they got their patch updates, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, bro. I I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I bought Scarlet 2 times, bro. I bought it a physical, which I have right here, and I bought a digital version so it could stay on my Switch 2, and that way I could have Bonanza be in there and not have to worry about, going to go and grab my copy of Pokemon Scarlet that's in here or something, you know what I mean? I just have a digital copy of Scarlet because first of all, there's more storage, and also I could just open up Scarlet and whenever I want to. You know what I mean? Don't be me and buy games twice, chat. Like, it's dumb. I bought 3 copies of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I'm still kind of ashamed to talk about that one. But like, I had to because Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, these games, their updates to these titles are one of the best updates that came out in recent memory. Like, I hope maybe tomorrow, Chad, if you guys want to join me for tomorrow, I want to go ahead and play this because I think currently, if I'm correct, the Pokemon, the shiny hunt thing is currently happening. If so I would love to play with you guys on that. I don't know. Is it happening, Chad? Like, is the Pokemon, the shiny hunt thing is happening right now at this moment? Can you guys update me on that end? Don't ask KG for financial advice. You will go bankrupt in days. It is currently happening? Okay, so yeah. Tomorrow, around this time, or maybe earlier if I get very lucky, I would want to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, maybe more throughout the rest of the week. I don't think on Friday because I'll be away for Fantastic Four, but like every other day of the week, though, I would love to join you guys to, beat the shit out of whatever the hell of the mon is in that time. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on that front. Like, I'm excited for it. I do like that I'm able to just sort of grab my copy of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet by just grabbing it and picking it up and then just opening the game and just playing it. Like, yes, do I have a physical? Absolutely. Could I just, open this, put Donkey Kong Bonanza away, and then just plop in Violet or Scarlet and that's it? Yeah. But you know what else is great too? Just turning the system on and just boop, and there you go. I'm currently playing Scarlet and Violet now. Or I'm playing Fortnite, or Mario Kart World, or like the Legend of Zelda series, or Violet for some reason, or Atelier Ryzen 3. Spyro, I've been playing that too. Like, all these titles I've been replaying on this because they're all here digitally. I love that my games are here while also loving that I have them stored away in a physical box. You know what I mean? This system is a digital system while having all of the best aspects of a physical system, or a physical console system. You know what I mean? The reason why is because when you look at this is just this right here. What is this? This is a tablet. This is another iPhone. This is a Samsung kind of thing. This is something that you're meant to carry with you and play around anywhere. And it would be weird for me to kind of have to carry like multiple cartridges of these in my pocket, and then when I want to switch out for Bonanza, I'm gonna pull this entire thing out to pull a copy of it. You know what I mean? So okay, it's not that insane, but like, you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I feel like the Switch 2 is going to be the digital system console for me. My little brother is gonna have the physical stuff, but I'll have the digital stuff. And so that's kind of why I bought Scarlet again, is because I have now a digital copy of Scarlet for myself on this thing, and my little brother has the physical cartridge of Scarlet because he's playing Pokemon. He's old enough now to finally understand Pokemon, and he's playing Pokemon Scarlet. Dude, it's so fun watching him play that. Now I get to play with him on this console. He has his own, I have my own, and we're able to play like this. I'm even playing with my mother with Mario Party as well. And I don't know when the update for Mario Party Jamboree comes out, but like I can't wait for that because then I'll be able to play it on the 4K TV we got outside, bro. Like, this system is a digital console system for me. My little brother will hold the physical stuff, but for me personally, this is where I intend to go digital this time around. Is it a good thing though? It has its best things. Yes. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it has some really good stuff on it. But I understand the criticisms behind a digital thing because right now we're living in a time where digital media is slowly not turning into something that you really fully possess. You know, we're hearing horror stories with like some of the other titles being pulled away from your consoles, or, you know, video games or movies that are not physically in possession of you, even though you paid money for it. Like, they could just take it away from you at any point. Like, I understand the fear of that. Like, I understand why people are afraid for this sort of stuff. But, like, at the same time, from my perspective, from my mindset, I want this to be stated. Like, this is just from me, from my point of view. Being able to just turn my console on at any given point, just to open it up, not have to worry about going to my drawer over here to get it, and then just going over here, I see I want to play Mario Kart World, I just tap it and that's it. I have it. I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry, or I could play my Nintendo 64 things, all the digital games right there. I could just pull it out whenever I want to, or even some other titles like I have in here, Spyro, you know, previous titles in the past that I've owned digitally, like the Atelier Rise series. You know, there's something special about being able to play these titles at any given moment without needing to worry about where your physical copies are at. But I also have the physical copies, so don't worry, I'm not like making physical media disappear from my library. I'm still gonna own them, and now I have a reason to buy it twice, one for myself and one for my little brother to go ahead and use, and I'll have to make sure to keep an eye on that stuff. So that's where things lie in for the most part. Things are a lot different around this time around, as my brother now is old enough to really take care of his own sort of systems and consoles and whatnot. So I'm very curious to see where things are going to go for that. In short, go support Stop Killing Games if you European dude. I hope that the Stop Killing Games actually moves forward and whatnot. I think that is going to be very special if it succeeds. But I haven't heard too much on the matter, so I can't really speak too much on that front. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that end there. Man, it's looking like it's gonna be a lot of fun though. I'm excited. I'm excited. For what the future of the Nintendo Switch has to offer though. Because, well, there's still games coming out later this year. What the hell is happening right now? Did we get an advertisement? Yeah, we got an advertisement on the thing here. If you're not European, you don't sign, your signature will count. Oh, that's unfortunate. No, so what was I going to say that it threw me off once the advertisements came into play. The advertisements completely jumbled me up, bro. Shit. Okay. So that's all I got to say on that matter. Nintendo Switch 2 is a great console. I've been loving it. I didn't really fully appreciate it too much when it first came out, but I began to appreciate it a lot more the more time I spent with it, and especially when Donkey Kong Bonanza came to light. And now it's become a really important system, and I'm just, listen, this is a selfish request from me. Just a selfish request from me. Listen, we have one of the greatest features of all time currently happening right now. We have one of the best features. You don't understand. We have one of the most incredible features available on the Switch 2, and that is the mouse mode. There are a bunch of gacha games that support this sort of feature on PC. And I'm just saying, I want to see some of them games come to be. If you allow me to do this with my mouse and I could just scroll around, I'm just saying playing Nikke like this on my Nintendo Switch would be kind of bonkers. You could do this on PC if you port over these games that use a mouse feature on PC to a powerful console like this. This is going to be the gacha system for me, bro. Imagine, I could play Zenless Zone Zero if they bring it here. I could put Genshin Impact here. I could put Honkai here. I could put Nikke, Uma Musume, like all of these other titles here. And I could play them like this. This is amazing. Like, I would love that shit. I would really fall in love with that. Dude, I don't know. Maybe they will add them later, but as of right now, I don't know much of it. I haven't played Street Fighter 6 on the Switch 2 as of right now to know about that. I do know in Deltarune, for example, there's a feature in one of the levels in the game that support the mouse specifically, so that's a thing. There's a video game coming out that specifically is based off just the mouse itself. So, you know, I'm just saying, dude, how amazing would it be? PC gaming could literally be in the palm of your hand because we have a mouse feature. And I think that Fortnite is an example. Actually, I don't know why I didn't bring this up. Okay, so I play Fortnite with Terrell, Richie, and Nessa occasionally. And for me, I use the controller and mouse feature, not just the traditional gameplay of it. And the reason why is because the mouse control on this system is super responsive. It's really, really good. So that's what I'm saying. I think it would be such a stellar idea to see the developers who make console games or gacha games or games that support mouse features, bring them here. I'm telling you, we could have games that do this, like League of Legends could come into this sort of thing. I would hope that Pokemon Unite would support the mouse feature on the Switch 2 edition or something like that. I would hope that there are these other things that they could improve upon that would benefit from a mouse feature. I don't know, man. I feel like there's so much potential, and I hope that these developers take the chance to do it. So yeah, please, like, hear my selfish request. Bring these gacha games here. If you do, this thing is going to be a system that will not be having a break anytime in the future, bro. I will be playing all of my gacha games on this thing, especially with the support of like the control and stuff like that for other games like Zenless or Honkai. Some of the other gacha games coming out in the future. I would love to see Ananta come into this one. If you haven't seen Ananta, great looking game so far. From the visual previews we've seen of it. I want to see like a bunch of these other gacha games support the Nintendo Switch, because this system's powerful enough to handle it now. So take advantage of it. Like, look, I have my PS5 over here. They could play some of those gacha games, but as cool as it is to be able to play it on this system with its enhanced graphics and all that stuff, nothing will beat the aspects of portability quite like this game. Or this system right here. I'm just saying. I think there's so many cool things. If you guys have any suggestions in chat that you think would be really cool to see them port over into the Nintendo Switch 2, like PC games that only feel like they would only be on PC but now could benefit from the mouse features of the Nintendo Switch 2, mention them in the chat. I'm curious to see what you guys got to say on that front. Like, it's really interesting to see where things are going to go. So I've heard Nintendo's giving out surveys for the JP audience on how they feel about the virtual game cards. It seems that Nintendo's taking the complaints seriously. And I hope they are, because that's the one thing that's also making me push more into the digital aspects of things. Yakuza 0, I think, is a game. Sonic Excel. Okay, listen. I would not lie to you when I say this. I wanted to buy me the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sonic X Shadow Generations. I was this close to getting my hands on this version for the Nintendo Switch 2. Until I learned that the game is not in this thing. And it's instead a key card that you only put into your system, and that's it. You still have to download all of the files in here, but the only way to play it is to put in the key card itself. If over time they eventually fix that, where they then bring Sonic Shadow Generations on the card itself, and then they release that version of it, I'll happily get that. But as of right now, these discs that are here serve only for one purpose, and that's just to simply be a key card to activate the games. It's been with the PS5, it's been going on with the X, Series X. This is why I'm going digital for this system, because it's like, what's the point of having to carry on these little key things when I could just open the game up right here and there? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I feel on that front. And there's a bunch of titles, unfortunately, that do suffer from this. And I hope that they eventually fix that. Also, we're finally getting a Strive patch with Lucy after 8 months of playing a terrible emergency patch. Praying it's good. Are you talking about Guilty Gear Strive by any chance? If we're talking about that, dude, listen. Arc Systems. Wait, is it Arc Systems? I don't know who's working on the one that I'm thinking of. But I want them to work on bringing out Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I want that game to come to Switch 2. I will play the shit out of that game on my Switch 2. I know I could have bought it on my PS5, but once again, the portability aspect of it is going to be so amazing, dude. I would be playing the hell out of Grand Blue Fantasy. They released a character that I lost my mind over. If you know, you know, the dragon chick. So I'm just saying, bring that to the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm pretty sure it's capable of handling it. Maybe tweak things up a little bit and crossplay. I think that would be also pretty great as well. I think that would be awesome to see them do that. And fighting games I think is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, we got some questionable characters going in a Rampage at the moment. Dude, I'm curious about that. And yeah, that's really all I got to say on that end over there. Like, the Nintendo Switch 2 is a great system. I'm enjoying it so far, but it is just the first month. I can't say what's gonna... is Grand Blue Cygames? Cygames are the ones that worked on the fighting game? I thought it was like a collaboration because it almost looks like it's feeling similar to the system style of ArcSys. That's why I brought that up. If it's just simply Cygames Studio that's working on it, then they did a really great job with it. But I don't know who the developers are for that. I think the issue with the design is that there's better fan executions of the D-Knight concept. D-Knight also didn't need an Evo. It's already one of the most OP mods in like 20 years. Jesus. I remember back in the day, they mentioned that they had a design for like a flying Evian or something like that. And there was a fan-made art of it where it looked so good. And it was so close to the original design of what they had that they had to scrap it because of that art. And we don't know who was the one that did it. But apparently it was so close to that fan art, they didn't want to have any issues. So they decided to say, you know what? We're just not going to touch this thing anymore. And we never got to see that evolution come to be. Okay, so they were working on Versus. Okay, so that's what I thought. Because it straight up looks like their art style. Or their animation direction. Makes sense then. So, yeah. No, that's all I gotta say on that. No, we don't know. But we knew that I think there was supposedly an evolution that was supposed to happen. And an art piece looked so familiar or so similar to that design that they just had to scrap it. It's crazy. We don't know all of the story. They never shared all the details about that, but that was like the big rumor back then, and I think it's kind of crazy. To be real with you. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that front there. Not much else to add into the conversation for that. Now, One of the other things I do want to talk about real quick before I personally forget, because I know we're already pretty deep into it. Oh, there's this really cute art piece of Ashen Dragonite. I'm gonna retweet that. There is this big, this really big discussion currently happening right now on social media. Now, it's up to you guys to decide if if you really want to stick around for that sort of discussion. And if you, I highly recommend to at least hear the stories of what's been going on with this. Um, Currently, oh shit, Best Buy has the Switch 2 in stock apparently. Okay, if you guys haven't gotten it, all right. Well, I hope everybody got their Switch 2s. Dude, that's amazing. Let me see. I'm curious. Is it actually still in stock? If not, I could imagine one buddy of mine needing a Switch 2. Holy shit, it is in stock. What? Wow, so if you haven't gotten a Switch 2, might as well go ahead and get it. What was I going to say? So, not Pokemon. Let's go and talk a little bit about what's currently happening right now in the scene. So, I don't know how many people are familiar with the world of VTubers in specific. If you've been following this year in general, you would know that there's been nothing but huge controversies for VTubers in general. There was the Niji Sanji controversy. There were some Hollow controversies with some of the Hollow Live stuff. Not anything gargantuan or whatnot, but I did remember, who was it? It was Galgura, who had some things that they said that they weren't really a big fan of, so they wanted to, retire and etc. Graduate, I guess I should say. And we never heard Galgura since. So it's been like a story like that. But now we jump into July of 2025. There was the other controversy. How could I forget the last thing? The big controversy that happened this year regarding Cinder, if anybody remembers that person who everyone's forgetting, for right reasons, of course, with the whole shit that happened. Man. So, allow me to get a little bit out there. And in fact, it kind of bums me out because, listen, I'm not the biggest VTuber fan out there. I'm not really that much into VTubers in general. I have friends who are VTubers. I have people who I know are VTubers. You know, I have friends who talk about VTubers in such a high degree, and I see occasional clips that they would post on like our chat or whatnot. They'd be like, "Hey, take a look at this," and they're very good. They're very fun. I do love it, and I also find myself intrigued in ever seeing myself maybe one day trying a VTuber thing. I think that would be really cool. Will it happen? I don't really know, but I think there's a potential for that. But anyway, to get back on track, there has been these big controversies that's been going nonstop, but this week I think takes the cake for being one of the worst things to have happened for VTubers, and especially for the industry as a whole, and with charity. This to me is what hurt the most. So, in case people are unaware of what's going on, let's go talk about the current situation that was happening with a particular VTuber out there named Iron Mouse. Now, Iron Mouse is a VTuber who's been tied with VShojo, and honestly, I would consider Iron Mouse to be the face of VShojo, in my opinion. Like, when I hear the term VShojo, the first person that comes to mind is not any of the other people out there in that, like Amelie or Centrea. Like, to me, the first person that comes into my head is Iron Mouse. Like, she is, and if you heard her story, like, of who she is as an individual, what she's gone through, what she's been fighting against, and what she wishes to, better in certain aspects of the world, especially for like the IDF, or aka the Immune Deficiency Foundation, like how impactful she is as a VTuber and as an individual. Like, she is a huge inspiration for people and just fans out there of the VTuber scene. She is a really positive influence to so many people out there. So what happened? What went down? What exactly had gone since then and now. So it was recently a video came out from her where she said that she was going to leave the shoujo, and everything was looking to be, for the most part, like, okay, she wants to pursue things, and she wants to go and do things differently. And then at least that was the assumption I had when watching the video. I didn't know where things were gonna go for that. At least I thought, like, okay, maybe she's just trying to separate and branch out and try to go indie. A lot of VTubers are doing that lately. And I thought maybe she just wanted to pursue in that aspect. And I thought that was really cool if that was to be what she was going to do. Turns out that was not the case at all whatsoever. What happened was that it turned out that she hasn't really received any pay whatsoever for the things that she's done, but more importantly, a charity that she has done on a yearly basis, the IDF, or the Immune Deficiency Foundation, that she goes on a yearly basis. It turns out that Vishojo, for one moment in time, decided to not give what is essentially $500,000 to the foundation, because this was something out of Iron Mouse's control, and Iron Mouse told V Shoujo to, hey, listen, like, this is what I want to do. Can you please put the money to this foundation? And it felt like that was what was going to happen. And then we find out that it never happened. So for the longest time, everybody was under the assumption that there was a genuine thing happening with, like, $500,000 that went towards saving lives and saving and educating and training those in the world of the immune deficiency side of things, because it is something that ties heavily close to her, as she's someone who suffers from that. So it was heartbreaking when you watch that video that she dropped, and you find out that it turns out that all that money, or at least that portion of the money, never went through. And she decided, she's like, no, I can't. I'm against that. Like, the money has to have gone somewhere. It was meant to go to charity. It never did. And so she decided to leave Shoujo. And you find out more about, like, why she did it and how it felt like she was extremely pressured and almost felt like she was kind of through peer pressure, whereas, like, no, like, they need me to be here, like V Shoujo needs me to be here, or everybody that's in this company will fumble and fall down, and it's like they all put it on me. And it's like, when you hear all that, it's heartbreaking, it's gut-wrenching, bro. And once she finally broke free from that, and she was finally able to be her own independent VTuber and move on and do things in her own right, it was a moment of positiveness, but also, no. So the money didn't get lost. V Shoujo has it, per se. They just never did it, and this is where the situation gets even worse, because as Savion mentions, Cake-san, who was one of the other VTubers in VShojo, came out and made a stream, and it got so insane that apparently she got one of the JP CEOs of VShojo to come into the stream to talk about what's exactly going on, where's the money, what's going on here. And then we find out that Cake-san herself also was in a similar situation where she didn't get paid at all for a good portion of time. What the hell was happening? So it wasn't until she got on stream, she confronted the CEO, and straight up, when they responded to her about some of the things that was happening and how half-assed the answers were, she just straight up told them up front to their face, I quit VShojo, I'm out of here, bye. And they couldn't say anything afterwards. They just heard what she had to say, and she got out. That was nuts. And it didn't even stop there. You got other VTubers also coming out, also suffering in the same situation. Henya, I think, was another VTuber who also ran into that similar situation too, where she came out and mentioned about, like, certain merchandise that was already made, never went out or never got made or any of that sort whatsoever, despite being on sale. It got so bad that if you go to the VShojo store, it's all gone. It's closed. Everything's out of the picture. You go to VShojo's affiliate. What's happening in the affiliate page? All of the VShojo units are gone. everything is out of the picture. One after the next, after the next, after the next. What's happening? More and more people from Vishojo are disappearing, or they're removing the Vishojo brand off of their name, or whatever it may be, one after the next after the next. And you're seeing more and more and more people come out. Neander said that they owe her enough money to pay off a car, as Savion said, and there have been other people who have been coming out, who've worked behind the scenes, who are not really going to go too into detail because obviously, contract and stuff and whatnot. And they talked about certain things, and they're like, yeah, Vishojo did this and this. And like, I'm a. This might sound stupid, and I am 100% certain this sounds stupid in every way possible. But like, I I kind of owe Niji Sanji an apology. I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. I feel like I owe them an apology, cause I honestly felt, I kid you not, I felt they were gonna be the ones that were going to crumble face flat into the surface, where I thought that they were going to be the first ones to crumble down, that they were going to be the first ones to collapse, and they were going to be the first ones to, be gone and out of the picture. So, to my surprise, when all of this happened, and I find out that V Shoujo is the one that's causing all this shit, nah, man. No, it's painful. It's tragic. It's gut wrenching, and I hope those who have not yet, either A, if you haven't yet, please spread the word about the whole situation with Iron Mouse and the IDF Foundation, or the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Let me be clear on that. This is where the story finally comes to kind of a happy closure, in the sense that they decided to redo a new one again to make up for the $500,000 of missing money that supposedly V Shoujo just did not give whatsoever, and they didn't. So what happened? So when this news blew up, it reached mainstream media. It reached to every part of the scene, whether on YouTube, through other content creators, or even those who don't even follow VTubers, or those who don't even follow much of VShojo or anything on that matter. It got so monumental on social media that when the Immune Deficiency Foundation Fund happened through the Tiltify thing, it blew up to such a huge degree that this one had reached $1 million already raised for the Immune Deficiency Foundation, because people spoke up, because people spread the word, because people put the money where they know the money's going to go to. And in a sense, it is tragic what V Shoujo did, but like, the results that came from all of this tragedy resulted in a very positive, finale, in that the money was raised and it exceeded by double, and potentially could go even further. We don't know how long this will last. I don't even know if it'll last for like the next week or so. I didn't follow that. But it is such a beautiful thing to see people from all branches of the world, people, artists, of content creators, streamers, of any kind that you could think of, all banding together for one righteous cause, and that cause being to go and, spread the word and give money to a worthy foundation. That even the CEO, I think, came out from the Immune Deficiency Foundation to talk about it in a video on Twitter. And it's so heartwarming. And it is, once again, a tragedy to know what led to this moment, even though this moment is a happy fin to it all. But, it once again, massive love and respect to Iron Mouse, to her community, to all of the people who spread the word, to don't who donated $1 to 15,000 to who knows how many more. It doesn't matter, but every single little aspect of it, from the smallest like to a retweet to $1 to 15, whatever it may be, the unity that came from this is such a beautiful thing that I feel will be something that will be remembered for many many years to come. And I feel happy for Iron Mouse that they were able to make this happen. I feel happy for the community who knew that the money was going to the right place. I feel happy for all of them as a result of this situation. Now here's where the story gets really 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 intriguing and exciting. First of all, congratulations to V Shoujo for being a VTuber corp that has no VTubers under their belt. What the heck is about to happen with that? That to me, I think is the most insane thing that's going to come from this event is that we have little to no idea as to if Vishoju will come out and respond. They've already been doing silent things in the background by, removing the Vishojo merchandise store, by removing the affiliate stuff, etc. So they've been quietly doing stuff behind the scenes, and there's nothing that they could do per se to legally go against these VTubers because they know they messed up. So what's gonna happen? I'm very curious about this. Like, what is their response gonna be? Could they even respond? How would they even respond? Can they even respond? There's so many things. I'm just genuinely curious to see what's gonna come from this, and we don't know. Neither you nor me nor anyone really knows on that matter. Hell, even the VTubers who quit VShojo, they don't 100% know what's gonna happen. It's all up in the air at this point, and I'm very excited to see the aftermath from this. And you're right. We don't know how long VShojo is gonna last, but anything can happen between a month and now. You never know how the stories are going to play out. So it's always important to understand that there is so much story that is still out there that we don't know about. And we're going to have to wait and see when we do from V Shoujo's perspective. Like, there's nothing, at least as it stands right now, that could make you side with V Shoujo. After all the trouble that they've caused, after all the harm that they've done to not just one, but to countless VTubers, to charity no less. Have we not learned what happened with the completionists that we're still doing this same shit? It bums me out. It really does bum me out. But it does make me happy to know that at least the story reached a happy end and is still continuing to pursue further with that end, in the sense of, like, okay, we know that there is a happy end to it all, with people banding together to make money and raise more awareness and deliver hope through the Immune Deficiency Foundation. So that to me is the best thing about this whole situation. I hate how things got to this point, but I'm grateful that it at least found its own fin. So now I need to look at what happened to the completionist. Yeah, you guys remember the completionist? Remember that person long ago in his controversy? Yeah, no, that was a thing, man. That was a huge thing back in the day. That one, and Artisan Builds, I think, was also another one as well back in the day with that sort of situation. Like, there's a bunch of content creators or companies that were one after the other who were doing horrible, horrible shit. And so, yeah, it just bums me the hell out, man, to know that it kind of ended the way it did. And I hope that this is a lesson that any company or any VTuber or any person who wants to join the VTuber scene understands what they're going to get into when they try to sign into a contract or sign into something that they may not have all full control of. It's important to understand what you're going to get into, and most importantly, it's important for you to know what will make you the most happy. So, yeah. He tried to go on for a bit like nothing happened and got a tiny fraction of the views he got before. I don't know what's happening with him now. I don't know either, man. and nor do I care to find out about that. Um, he already made his mistakes. He's shared his multiple videos. He's done what he did, um, and everyone moved on. So just saying. But yeah, so that's what I gotta say on the VTuber side of things. Like I said, I'm glad it got a happy ending. I'm glad it did. It deserved that happy ending. It deserved, the joyous fin for it all. But other than that, that was really all I gotta say on that V Shoujo front. I'm really, really curious, um, if we'll ever see a response from that company. But as it stands right now, not really much per se. In the meantime, I'm gonna like these tweets of the Nikkei stuff because they look really good. Some of the Nikkei stuff does look pretty good. I'm not gonna upfront with that. Oh man, so yeah, I think that was really all I wanted to talk about. Did I mention anything else that I did not address or discuss or whatever it may be in between the things? Let me see. I talked about the presents, Switch 2 we talked about, so the V Shoujo things we talked about. He hasn't posted in 11 months. Holy damn, bro. Now, once that shit came to light, bro, it was over for that man. I'm just saying. Like, bums me the hell out that it happened. And once again, this is all in charity stuff, bro. This is money that was supposed to go towards a benefit, a worthy cause, a thing that would help save lives or make life be a better place than where it is right now, Even a single dollar moves us forward towards a better future when it comes to donating to these sort of things because it's leading to new discoveries, to new potential solutions to all this stuff. Like, this is something important, and it, like I said, it bums me out that a lot of the drama that surrounded all this was through charity, man. Like, that is not supposed to be the case. Charity just did that. It's not even the charities. Like, well, to be clear, it's not charity organizations per se, or it's not like the foundations themselves. It's more so the people running, and I guess that's what you meant by charity organization. But yeah, like those people behind the scenes that are running that sort of thing. Like, what the heck, man? Like, come on, you're misconstruing what was meant to be a joyous thing and ruining it for those out there. So yeah, that's really what it is, man. So not much else to be said on that. And like I said, I'm just grateful. I'm very, very much grateful that things got a happy end on that end. Geez, I said end too many times. But after that, not much else to add into the conversation mix for that sort of thing. So for now, let me go ahead and just double check something real quick here. I think everything's looking good for the most part. I do want to mention once again, first of all, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for joining this session. I'm really grateful for the amount of times that you've given me a chance to experiment lately. In case you guys are unaware of in regards to what's been going on lately, at least not the negative. I mean, like, what's going on with streaming wise here. If you'll notice, there is a YouTube thing going on here and a Twitch thing down here. What's happening? I'm actually doing a dual stream. There are some friends of mine, like I mentioned at the start of the stream, that are doing this sort of thing where they're streaming on YouTube and on Twitch as well. So I'm going to continue to have a lot more fun with this. I genuinely have been enjoying this, and I hope you guys have been as well. I know that different audiences exist in different platforms, and sometimes a certain platform would be more accommodating for them than, say, here, per se. And so, or there, depending on how it is. And so I want to do my best to try to, cater to both ends on that front. And I hope you guys have really been enjoying it, and I've been really enjoying it too. And it's been great to sort of see how much streaming has evolved over time, to see how much things have changed, and now we need to start going through more platforms to more different things here and there. And hey, listen, any opportunity for me to stream here and there and to talk with you guys in both different sides, and be able to just kind of entertain everybody while also being able to talk with everybody is, to me, a valuable thing that I wish to learn and gain more experience with. So thank you guys sincerely for sticking around here on the small YouTube channel I got, or even following me on Twitch or subscribing on Twitch or whatever it may be. Like, you guys have been a blessing for sure in making this such a fun journey, and I hope to continue to do more sessions. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I think tomorrow I may be doing some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet runs because, like I said, I don't think I'll be available on Friday because of the Fantastic fans. And so I'm gonna be going ahead and watching that film. So I think tomorrow I'll try to make some time to go and play with y'all some Pokemon. I mean, I think it'll be a lot of fun, don't you think? So yeah, that's all I got to say on that end there. And yeah, sincerely, thank you guys so very much for that. And like I said, I really do want to. I really do want to know what people want me to try out, what people want me to play, what people want me to experience, what people want me to, journey through. Like, I still don't know everything as to what everybody wants to see for the future. But, like, yeah, I got my ticks, bro. I mean, come on. Dude, I was wanting to watch the fan event, so, like, at an earlier time, but I couldn't because, I mean, it was in such a bizarre-ass time, so I couldn't do it. But I'm still going to be watching it this weekend, so I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the fun ahead, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the day or the night as well. It's about to hit midnight relatively soon. So I know everybody's got to go meet at some point relatively soon, but yeah, sincerely, thank you guys so much. If you guys really enjoy me streaming here on YouTube and on Twitch, please by all means let me know. I'm very curious to know about that, and I really want to do more of this as well because I also want to just sit down and just chat with y'all. And this feels very nostalgic to a degree because it is kind of like if anybody remembers the Pokepod, an old school Pokepod session, but except instead of just like everybody here, it's just little old me coming back to just talk with y'all again about just some of the current events that are happening within the week for video games, for entertainment stuff, and all that. Yes, I actually did go to see Superman, and I will tell you that I finally got my Superman movie, bro. Listen, no disrespect to the OG Superman movie, the Christopher Reeve one, but this is the Superman movie for me, bro. For me personally. If you have your favorite Superman, by all means, more power to you as well. But I finally got my hands on my Superman movie, and my heart feels with joy, bro. I think that's what movies are meant to be. Entertainment in that degree. And I hope the Fantastic Four will live up to that as well. Fingers crossed on that department. Superman was goated. No, last week. I'm watching Fantastic Four this week though, so that's gonna be great. Superman was going to agree. Evo is in 8 days. Okay, are we gonna get any game announcements or in there? I'm assuming we're gonna get character announcements or like trailers and whatnot, but I don't know about any video game announcements. Like they've already threw the biggest bombshells with like say the freaking Marvel vs. Capcom 2 collection, fighting game collection. Already being the thing on Nintendo Switch, which I do have digitally, so that's pretty great. Freaking some of the other big titles. We're 100% getting a Lucy trailer at Evo. Looking forward to that. And I look forward to just seeing Evo as well, so that's going to be great. So fingers crossed that it's a good one. K-pop Demon Hunters, I have not. A friend of mine, Nessa, she watched it not too long ago. And she said she loved it. She said it was really entertaining. So, yeah, I might have to go ahead and see it on the Netflix thing again to really give an opinion on that front. Also, there was another movie, I think, that was also... Oh, yeah, Happy Gilmore 2. I think that's coming out later this week. I think on Friday. I think that's what she said. So, might have to go and watch that one as well. I think Bad Bunny is in that movie, too. So, I mean, Conejo Malo, come on, man. I gotta go watch that shit for him. So fingers crossed on that it is a wordy successor. So, yeah. For now, I'm going to go ahead and give me a sec. But alas, then, yeah, so all I got to say on that front is I'm going to go ahead and, well, we've been going at it for roughly, what time is it? 2 hours right now. So I think we got a lot discussed, a lot brought up, and a lot to cover for tonight. If there are any topics and other stuff that you would like for me to bring up for future videos, for future streams, etc., by all means, let me know on on social media through Twitter, or hell, just message me on the YouTube comments, or maybe when I'm on live on Twitch or on YouTube, let me know as well. And I hope to continue to do more of this as well as time comes. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. My name is KG Prestige. I'll talk with all of you lovelies later in whatever video I make. Take care, everyone. And as always, do me a solid and have yourselves a wonderful evening. All right, everybody? Have yourselves a good night. We'll speak tomorrow. Hopefully. Hopefully, if everything goes well on that front. So, yeah. There's another spell where you split an atom and set off a nuke. Excuse me, what? Starfighter drops on the 31st. I'm curious about that. We got to talk about that at some point, bro, because that sounds absolutely insane. All right, everybody. Peace, my buddies. We'll see you then. There we go.